FlossTube, it's Lisa here coming to you with a very belated July update. Today is the 12th of August, Saturday the 12th of August, and I thought I would take some time this afternoon to film an update for you because obviously I haven't been around. I did promise that I would film more regularly. It's been 6 weeks since my last update, so it's actually a bit of an improvement. So hopefully it will be okay for you guys. So this month, or the last 6 weeks or so, have been busy. It's been really busy. So firstly, with work, I was away for a 2-week period with work during July. So that impacted on the amount of stitching I could do. So literally during those 2 weeks we were away for the equivalent of 6 nights. So that drains your time, to be honest, because when I'm away with work we socialise in the evening, so I don't get downtime. So literally we're in meetings all day, and then on the night you're expected like a quick change, and then you're back down for dinner, and then you're staying out until whatever, catching up with your team colleagues. So you know, you kind of just don't actually get a chance to really just chill out and kick back in your room and maybe take some stitching. So I never take it because I just don't get a chance to do it. So I lost more than a week, and then obviously you come back and you're absolutely exhausted. So the last thing that you really feel like doing is picking up your stitching or any form of anything other than just really just collapsing on the chair and doing not a lot. So I kind of did lose a fair bit of time. And the other aspect is Poppy wasn't well again, and to be honest, this time I thought it was it for her, and her breathing went all to pieces again because obviously she's got the congestive heart failure, and because of that the blood through her system doesn't flow properly, so she gets like a backlog which goes to her lungs. So her lungs start to fill with fluid because of the back pressure, due to the fact that her heart's not working properly anymore. So she had a really bad episode about coming up 3 weeks ago, I want to say, where I did spend the night before I took her into the vets pretty much saying goodbye to her, because I thought that when I took her to the vets the following day that they would put her to sleep, and for some reason, and I'm so glad, the next morning she'd rallied round and made a really good recovery. So, you know, I think this is going to be the way things roll from now on, where, you know, the times when she's well, it's fabulous, but we are going to have times of crisis. The vet started her on a new medication for her heart, and touch wood, up to now she's been okay. I know that she's not going to get better. I know that we're managing the symptoms until the end comes. She is in end stage heart failure, so she's not going to get better. So, you know, it's just doing the best for her, making sure she's comfortable, happy, as well as she can be. She's still interested in things. She still wants to eat. You know. So while she's like that, I'm happy. And when the time comes, I'll know when the time comes, and we'll do what's right for her. But for now, I'm just so happy that she's okay. Because to go from that such a low thinking that you're going to lose your little friend to the high of knowing that the vet thinks that this isn't right, not the right time, and that they can still do some work with her in terms of keeping her around a bit longer. I mean, it was just, yeah, it was just from the worst low to the highest high in the space of like a minute. So, you know, so I'm really pleased about that. Hopefully she'll still be here the next time I make another upload, but you know, we take each day as it comes now with her, and every extra day with her is a blessing. So the other flip side of it, Daisy, the little pup, is outrageously fabulous. She's just mental. She's just absolutely hilarious. She doesn't stop from the minute she wakes up till like she'll just crash and have to go to sleep. She's just full on and really intense, but so unbelievably funny. She's really bright little dog, intelligent little dog as well. In fact, I bought her yesterday actually some agility equipment for the garden, some little hurdles and some hoops and tunnels for her to jump and run through, and yeah, she's really caught on to that quickly. So I was hoping to get them out today in the garden, but it's just looking out the window now, it's stopped raining now. It's rained pretty much all day today, so it's been miserable, so we've not been able to go out, but apparently tomorrow's a better day, so all being well, we'll get her in the garden and playing with the new equipment. So yeah, she's been quite excited about that. So stitching wise, I didn't think I'd done that much, but when I've looked at it, it looks more than I thought, so I'm quite pleased about that. So the first thing I worked on, and I'm loving this, absolutely loving this, is one of my Heaven and Earth designs. It's Steam Heart, and I'll put a picture in for what it'll look like, just as a reminder if you've just not seen it. And I'll also put a picture in of where I was last time you saw it. And this is where I've got to now. So let me just get that into shot for you. So I have, last time I think I'd done those 2 pages, and I said that I wanted to work across this page and then with a view to dropping down so I can start the top of a head, and that is what I've done. I didn't get that whole page finished, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, but then I dropped down here and started like the top of a head, and this is like one of the little goggle things on the top of a head. So, you know, to be out of that background and into actually stitching her has been really good. So yeah, that's why I'm so keen to sort of crack on and get on with this one and, you know, do a little bit more on her really. So it's probably what I might put onto the frame or a Q snapper later and work on this evening and do a little bit more on this, because yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's it's good fun, and it's stitching up well. And it's stitching up well because this month I'm always last to the table with everything. I discovered the Easy PDF app, which for any of you guys who stitch Heaven and Earth designs, it's like the best thing ever, because you can search for the symbols, and you know, you search for the symbol that you want to stitch, and it highlights all of those symbols on that page and through the rest of the document if you want to, and you just literally follow it and then highlight them over the top as you've gone, so you don't miss out on a lot of the stitches. So, you know, for me with a lot of the Heaven and Earths, I was having to go back and finish because I'd missed the odd random stitch here and there, and that's so frustrating when you're just loading up your needle for one stitch, where with this you don't miss them. It's like an absolute godsend, to be honest, and I can't believe that I've done as long as I have done without it. And yeah, but you know, I'm always last to the table with most things technology wise, but I kind of got there in the end and I love it. The second thing has been my Under the Sea Sal, which is obviously this year's stitch along, so it's the sea image. So last time, I'll try and get it into frame, I had stitched the seahorses, and there was the jellyfish and the mermaid to do. This month has come out. August has already been released, and it's a, what is it, stingray, I think it's a stingray or some sort of like flatfish of some nature. Stingray, I want to say stingray to do. I had to make a conscious effort to catch up with this last month because I got really behind. Obviously I hadn't stitched June and July's offering. It's okay, there's quite a lot of backstitch. I haven't backstitched the mermaid yet, so I worked on the jellyfish and then the mermaid, and to be honest, by the time I'd stitched her, I'd literally had enough of this because I'd spent like a good 3-4 days, maybe a little bit more on this, and I was just keen to get back to one of my Heaven and Earths, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it, but I was just keen to do something where, you know, you could get a good run at colours. There's a lot of colour changes in this. I mean, that's what makes it, I guess, as pretty as it is, but oh, bloody hell, those little tiny fish are just horrendous. There's about 8 or 9 colours in those little tiny fish, and yeah. So I've got the mermaid to backstitch at some point this month, and then to do like the stingray with a few other fish around it, and then yeah, and then there's 4 more months to do. I remember last month saying, and this was before the mermaid released, I hope there's a mermaid in it, and it would be nice if there's a scuba diver. So I got my mermaid, so I'm hoping for my scuba diver that will sort of be on the, I don't know, underneath all of this lot on the seabed. And then, you know, we've had like, what you can't really call a human element, but, you know, sort of a couple of different things other than sea life. I mean, I can't think of what else is going to come now. Probably more of those little fish that I hate stitching. But yeah, it's all right. I'm enjoying it. Will I do a stitch along next year? I don't know. It'll have to be something fabulous to make me want to stitch it, to be honest. I don't mind it. I don't like the fact that the commitment, you know, the time commitment with them. Not from the point of view that they take a long time, it's just knowing that I have to do something. You know, I like to be a little bit more free and flexible with my plans, and you know that you have to stitch this. You don't have to, but you kind of do, not to fall behind. And I haven't really wanted to get behind on it, because if I did, I knew I wouldn't finish it. And yeah, I mean, it's far prettier than I thought it was going to be when I first stitched that octopus to start with. I mean, I kind of stitched him and thought, oh my god, like literally this is not for me, but it's grown on me. I can see me framing this, you know, quite simply in a white frame and putting it up in my craft room. Will I have it in one of my main rooms in the house? I won't, because it's just not my aesthetic at all. So if I do decide to stitch in a stitch along next year, I would want to see maybe 2 or 3 months of it first before I commit and decide I'm going to do it. I don't want to stitch something that's a mystery and that you're blind to, because in reality, would I have done it? I don't think so, but I'm going to do it, and I don't dislike it, but it's not really me. And obviously I don't have a child to give it to put in their nursery, so you know, it'll go in here, it'll go on my wall, it'll go quite well within the colour schemes, because it's obviously quite a bright room, so it will go well. The other one I worked on is another Heaven and Earth design, and it's my what's this called? Oh, I've completely forgotten what it's called. Simply Meant to Be by Cherie Gerhardt, and it's a story keep version. So I'll put in a picture of what it'll look like when it's done, and also where I was last time you saw it. And this is where I am now. So this is coming along quite nicely. There was quite a bit within her face I hadn't completed last time. There's still a couple of odd stitches within that first page that I need to go back and complete, but now obviously that I've got easy PDF, it's going to save me a lot of time with this, because the amount of confetti that was in her face, his skull, you know, I've already looked at the pattern. Obviously I've stitched a lot of the black already, sort of the outline of where everything's going to go. So, you know, this is one of his hands here. There's a lot of confetti in his hands, so you get the shading right. Obviously there's his other hand and her shoulder. So there's a lot of colour change. So having that new app will make a massive difference to me, not having to go back and stitch. You know, in his skull, there were so many different colours in his skull, and then I'd look and I'd realise I'd missed one. I had to re-thread the needle and go back and do it again. So at least that element will be taken away. So what I was doing with this was literally putting in the majority of the black on this second page, and then there's like another, I want to say half a page to go below that where the little dog is. So, you know, I thought if I could do that. So I'm relatively pleased with what I've got done on that. It's not loads, but it's better than what I thought I was going to do, because yeah, I mean, finishing off that confetti was quite intense. It was quite intense, to be fair. So I did say that those would be 3 of the 4 that I worked on for July, and I did say that I would pick up my Mirabilia, my Persephone. I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't fancy it really. So I didn't work on it. But I did make a new start. And I made a new start because I watched some of people's videos that they put up, which was showing like a couple of whip parades, and then some of the guys also showed some of the patterns that you have in stash, and became a bit inspired by that. So yeah, McKenna at Every Stitch Counts, I think she still calls her channel. So McKenna went through some of her patterns, and yeah, I kind of fell down the proverbial rabbit hole again when it came to some of the things that she'd done. So I did start one. So the one I started, I've just got the patterns here to show you, because obviously this kind of, we're getting into a bit of haul, I suppose. I didn't make a lot of haul, but I did get some. So the first one, and the one I've started, is a Prairie Schooler, which is, sorry, a bit of glare, let me just turn it, is Nevermore. I tell you, and it's really funny because quite a few people have said this, how your style changes as you see other people stitching up projects and working on different things. I would never have thought I would stitch something like this. It just, you know, if you'd have asked me a year ago, would I stitch a Prairie Schooler, it would have been like, no, it's just not my thing. It's just, but they've grown on me over the last year or so while I've been more involved with FlossTube and making videos and watching more of you guys. Yeah, I quite like the samplers now. I was more into the modern stuff like the Heaven and Earths and the Mirabilias, but these kind of things have really grown on me. So I did make a start on that one, and I'll show you my progress on that. There's a little bit of haul attached to this. Sorry, I apologise because I didn't iron any of my fabric before I've decided to make this video. It's a bit on the hoof really. So that is my progress on Nevermore. So it's not bad. There's a fair bit done. I've really enjoyed this, really enjoyed stitching it up. The other two items of haul are my needle minders here. So obviously I've been back on Denkai Designs Etsy shop and pick those up. So I've got a couple of little witchy type little needle minders on there to go with this. So I picked up that one and started it this month, and I've really enjoyed, as I said, working on it. So I'm looking forward to making some more progress on it this month. So that was my instead of the Persephone piece. And as I said, I don't know why I didn't work on it, but I just didn't. And the final thing that I worked on, and I didn't get this out until last night, so believe me, there's barely any progress because literally there's been, what, 2.5 hours worth of stitching on this. But I kind of got a bit of hankering to do it. And after my mega meltdown and whinge a few videos ago over this piece with the background, I thought, well, do you know what? I've made quite a decent start on it. I'm going to, you know, go with it. And it's my Keep It Safe by Zinda Nielsen. It's another Heaven and Earth design, and I'll put you the picture in of what it would look like when it's finished. And, you know, I've not done a lot, but I've kind of worked around here for just I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours of stitching. So we're just about to, I believe, and I could be wrong, come into her here. It could be a bit moon, I don't know. I think that's a part of her arm or something like that. I don't know, the background's just really dark. Sorry, there's a few stitches that are missing there that are showing up, but the background's a lot darker than the picture. So I don't know what this will look like when it's done, but I thought, you know what, I really do need to make a bit of progress with that. So the other little needle minder on there is another sort of steampunk design one, and I did put that on my Simply Meant to Be piece, and I've just swapped it onto here. It's another little needle minder from Denkai, which I ordered this month. So I got 3 needle minders, and then she sent this little free one, which is, I don't think it's going to focus, but it's a little Hello Kitty, and maybe if I do that you might be able to see it better. A little Hello Kitty needle minder, which is so cute. I mean, Denkai's, you know, Etsy shop's lovely, and the nice thing about her needle minders is she has these like little buttons on the back, so it makes it really easy to get the magnets off. So the buttons are attached to the magnets, and you're not, with some of them, you know, you're trying to pick the magnet off, where with this it's actually on. So they're really nice and really makes it really simple. So I've got my little Hello Kitty in patriotic colours there, even though I don't think you can really see her, but she is really adorable. Oh, there you go, it's focused in now. She's ever so cute. So I need to find, it won't find me, oh, it's found me now. I need to find, you know, a little project to put her on. So with Nevermore, because patterns can't travel alone, I also bought Cats, Bats and Witches, which is another Prairie Schooler design. So I got that with a view to starting it, because these colours, I've got a room, one of my little bedrooms is done in like oranges, so this will go really well in there. So I'll be able to put them up in my spare room, in one of the spare rooms. So yeah, that's a nice one. And then the other one that I got at the same time was Plum Street Samplers Toil and Trouble, which is a really nice colourful design, and that's done in Gentle Arts threads as well. I've not got any Gentle Arts threads, so I'll have to kit that up at some point, but it's a nice one. So on the So and So website at the time, I also had my eye on another pattern which they didn't have in stock, so I was waiting for that to come in, and it did eventually. So obviously I bought that and another one, because as I said, patterns get lonely on their own in transit. And it is Witching Hour, which is another of those orangey themed ones. And again, it's another sampler design that, like I said, never thought I'd stitch, but you know, who doesn't like some witches on samplers? And then the final one, because I'd obviously done the Halloween selection on the So and So website, I got a Christmas one and I got Christmas Day. So whether or not I'll do this year, I don't think I will. I don't think I'll get started this year, is that one there. So that's Christmas Day, if you can see it. I'm going to change the top image to a different snowman that's shown. I'm not keen on that little snowman in the top there. He's a bit psychopathic looking, I think. So I'm going to change it to a different snowman. There's a little one that's sort of sitting down there. I'm going to put him in instead, because I think he's just a little bit cuter than, you know, the strange one that looks like he's doing some weird dance up there. I'm going to change him over. So yeah, so that was it really, because they need to put the date on the bottom of it, and this year's been such a crap year. I don't really want to remember 2017 particularly. So yeah, it's not lining up to be that good. It hasn't been that good so far, with me not being well, with the surgery, with Poppy not being well. You know, it's just been a bit of a crap year. And then I ordered some DMC floss to work on the samplers with. I hadn't got this orange shade for some reason, and I'd run out of grey because of these black and white Heaven and Earth designs I'm doing. So yeah, I got those. The final thing, which is probably a bigger thing, Amazon Prime had a discount day. They had Prime Day, and I'd been working Easy PDF on my iPad, which was okay. It wasn't fab. It didn't seem to be working as well as I wanted it to. There was a lot of, I don't know, it seemed like a bit glitchy and technical issues. So I treated myself to a little Kindle. So it's a Kindle HD. Sorry, I've got itchy nose. I think must be, I don't know, the fabric or thread. I don't know. A Kindle HD8, which seems to be a little bit more stable for working the Easy PDF app on it. Obviously I'll use it for reading as well, so it's not it's not just for that, but it does crash a fair bit for some reason. I don't know why. So you'll be working away, you'll highlight, and all of a sudden it'll just crash and go off, and you have to go back into not the app, because the app stays, but open back up your project that you're working on, and then re-highlight the symbol, and then you can start working again. So sometimes it'll crash more than others. There's clearly some sort of glitchy bug within that, and I don't know what it is, but the app has worked better on the Kindle. So I guess maybe like Android type platforms it might be a bit more stable on than Apple. I don't know. So I had to buy it twice because I'd already put it onto my iPad, which is why I was mentioning before with the Steam Heart, that top page isn't quite finished yet, because I'm going to have to go back in and finish that top page on the iPad. And I have to do it, but you're just like, oh, it didn't work as well for me. I mean, I'm sure others find it completely fine, but it was just something to do with me. So obviously the page below, I started afresh on the Kindle, so that's why it's kind of worked out like that a bit. But other than that, that is the stitchy progress. So plans for the rest of this month. There's not that much of it left, is there? Because we're a third of the way through. However, I do have a week off at the end of August, so it's bank holiday at the end of August in the UK, so I'm going to take the rest of the bank holiday week off, so I should get a nice amount of stitchy delight in there, because I'm not going anywhere with that. I may go over to the Static on the East Coast, but that just depends on how Poppy's doing, if she's stable enough to travel and be there. So if not, it'll be a week at home. And yeah, I'm going to obviously work on Steam Heart because I love it. I'm going to work some more on Simply Meant to Be. Nevermore will be stitched. And then, I don't know, after that, I may continue with some of the Keep It Safe, the black and white Heaven and Earth, well, the grayscale Heaven and Earth design. I might do a little bit more on that, perhaps. I might get Persephone out and do a little bit on her. I don't know yet. I'm going to kind of leave that one as we'll go with the flow. Obviously, there's the Under the Sea Sal. I have to stitch the Stingray. Sorry, I felt the need to break into song with that, actually. I think is it? Oh God, what's that come out of? Oh, I don't know what that song Stingrays comes out of. Is it, I don't know, something to do with Tracy Island or something? You know, those puppet things, what are they called? I can't remember. I think it might be to do with that. Anyway, an aside. So I'm going to have to work on that because I do need to stitch that other section, and obviously go back and backstitch the mermaid. There's loads of backstitching in her. I think that's one of the things with that, is the backstitching. I bloody hate backstitch. That's why I love the Heaven and Earth so much, because it's just straightforward crosses. There's no fractionals in it, there's no backstitch, there's no speciality stitches or anything random. It's just cross stitch. So that is the plan. So yeah, Steam Heart, the Under the Sea, some of the Simply Meant to Be, some Nevermore, and then whatever. So the plan is, all being well, to film another update at the end of the month, all being well. I have noticed, and thank you so much guys, that I'm getting quite near the 1,000 subscriber mark now, which is brilliant. I'm so overwhelmed and so chuffed that amount of you actually are watching me and have stayed with me, you know, despite my hiatus while I wasn't well. So thank you so much for your support and for your comments. I mean, I did make a promise that I would comment on people's comments, and I'd started off very well this last month, and then I just got really busy and there was a few more comments that I haven't responded to, so I need to go back and comment and respond to those guys who have commented, because it means, sorry, the camera stopped recording, I'd exceeded my limit and it cut me off. So I was saying that I had noticed, it was on about the 1,000 subscribers almost at that point, and yeah, I was just basically saying thank you to everybody who has stayed with me and commented, and the fact that I need to go back and, you know, reply to the comments that I haven't replied to yet. It does mean the world to me when people take the time to actually write something to me. You know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just nice, isn't it? I think our community is lovely, and you know, I think that the support that you get from individuals, and I think it's amazing. So, as I said, I am getting nearer that 1,000 subscriber mark. So I would like to do some sort of giveaway at that point. So, you know, you never know. By the time I re-upload, I might be at that point. I don't know when it'll be, obviously it depends on you guys, but yeah, I would like to give something back. What I'll do yet, I'm not sure, because I live in the UK and I want to be able to include everybody. I am thinking more about gift cards to, I don't know, so and so, or you know, a heaven and earth design pattern or something that I can, you know, sent across to somebody. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe both of those, you know, because obviously some people like heaven and earth design, some people want to be able to go onto a website and pick something. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe I'll do something along those lines. So I haven't quite decided yet, because obviously I'm not at that point yet, but you know, I hope to be at some point later on this year anyway, and I can obviously return, you know, some of the fabulous support that you guys have given me over the last almost, yeah, it's nearly my Flossiversary, actually. It's next month. I uploaded, no, this time last year, well, September last year, I uploaded my first FlossTube. So I can't believe the year's gone. So yeah, almost a year in now. So that's me, done pretty much. It looks like the heavens are going to open again outside. It's suddenly got really dark and cloudy out there, and I think we might be in for another drenching. So I'm going to call it a day now and try and get this uploaded. My broadband at the minute is just ridiculously stupid. We've had the guys with the cable putting that in over the last month, so I'm going to, as soon as I can, sign up to cable and get some better broadband, because the Wi-Fi here just, it stinks really. It absolutely sucks. So all being well, this video will finally get uploaded over the next couple of days for you guys, and yeah, just a huge thank you for watching, for subscribing, for staying with me, for your wonderful comments, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Take care guys, bye, see ya.